Good evening, Gills fans. Welcome back to the latest episode of Gills in the Blood TV. It is weekly review time, which this week will involve looking back at Sunderland on Tuesday night and then ahead to Saturday's game at Adams Park as we travel to take on Wycombe Wanderers. All in all, the display at the Stadium of Light, which ended in a 4-2 defeat, was on the whole pretty decent, pretty impressive, pretty encouraging in terms of the rest of the campaign. Going toe-to-toe for the most part with one of the best sides in the division and certainly a side with one of the biggest budgets in the division. But the back page of Thursday's Medway Messenger explains some way to why we lost the game again, and the headline is "Lovell, we must fix our set play weaknesses. 2 corners again, we did not defend properly and found ourselves conceding from both, one after 4 minutes and one after 10 minutes. Sandwiched in between was a smart Tom Eaves equaliser, alert to the loose ball as it bounced to him in the 6-yard box after Brandon Hanlon's shot had been charged down." But yeah, this is the quote from Steve Lovell coming up on your screen now. Steve Lovell said, "We conceded early from a set play, which has been our downfall all season, and then did it again with the second goal. It was nothing that they had created, it was what we gave them. Same old problem all season long, we just cannot defend properly." It's now the 7th time we've conceded 4 goals in a game this season in all competitions. A stat that I have stolen from James at D3, D4 football, so thank you very much. Let me see if I can remember them teams. Sunderland twice, Portsmouth in the checker trade, Tottenham in the checker trade, Barnsley in the league, Peterborough in the league, and Swansea in the FA Cup. And I do believe that James did go on to say in that tweet that he put out yesterday that only Rochdale have done it more and they've conceded 9 occasions this season. So therein lies the problem. Scored a good couple of goals again, but shot ourselves in the foot, unfortunately. But aside from that, in open play, it was a really good performance. I did not travel to the Stadium of Light. I did watch the game on iFollow, spending £10 for the privilege. And I thought, in open play, we were the better side for large periods. I thought Sunderland were scared, is maybe a strong word, but wary of making mistakes after their recent run of draws at home, and wary of a big crowd getting on their back if things weren't going to plan, and right up until the first penalty, which I thought was soft, given for a foul by Leonardo da Silva Lopez. I thought we were well in the game and there was a chance we could have gone on and pinched it, but then obviously it became harder because we had to chase it a little bit, and then the second penalty came shortly after, which was a stonewaller, unfortunately. Regan Charles-Cook done well initially and got himself in front of his man, but then went to travel out of the box with it and forgot the football, and in trying to retrieve it, he hung a leg out and brought the fella down, and Aidan McGeady tucked it away with aplomb like Will Grigg did the first, and that was game over, unfortunately. But yeah, it was a decent performance. In terms of stats, we had 44% of the ball, which is no mean feat going to Stadium of Light in front of a big crowd. I'm sure that's more than plenty of sides have had visiting that stadium this season. We had 13 shots and 6 on target, so we more than held our own. In terms of Luke Cordell's final paragraph in the match report, I will do that in a sec, but the first one sums it up as well. Gillingham have made a game of it against Sunderland twice this conceded, but have conceded 8 goals. Therein lies the problem. Speaks volumes again. It goes back to what I've already mentioned, defensive problems, conceding soft goals at a far too high a rate for a side that wants to be pulling away from the relegation zone. And in terms of the last paragraph from Luke, a bit more positive. There were certainly positive signs on Tuesday, coming swiftly off the back of a good home showing against Scunthorpe. So let's hope this is a sign of a move in the right direction. I think it is. That's my own personal opinion. The new signings generally have had an impact, those that have featured. The likes of Graham Burke and Leo da Silva Lopez have been very impressive from what I've seen on the whole. We've not seen loads of Billy King, and Tarvon Campbell's yet to make an appearance, but I'm sure he'll get his chance. And obviously we all await with bated breath for an appearance from Ricky Holmes, hopefully in the next few weeks. As we spoke about last week, Oxford at home is pencilled in for the 9th of March, but it'd be great if we could get him back sooner. But yeah, so that is the match summarised from Tuesday night. In terms of individuals, let's do a quick in-focus on this man. Tom Eaves, leading scorer. First goal from open play since the middle of December on Tuesday night, since Wycombe at home in that 2-2 draw prior to Christmas. As I said the other day, his only goal since then has been from the penalty spot against Coventry a couple of Saturdays ago. But Tom says he's aiming to finish the season as the division's most potent striker, which means outscoring the likes of John Marquis, Kiefer Moore, who is currently out injured after that horrible head blow against us a couple of weeks ago, and current leading scorer James Collins of Luton Town, who is probably going to be quite hard to reel in all truth, because Luton are a hell of a side going forward and they create and score plenty. My aim is to be the top scorer in the league, he said. The closer I can get to it, the better, and it means I'm helping the team out as well. Exactly my thoughts on it. There was talk after the transfer window closed that maybe Tom Eaves had lost interest or wasn't putting the effort in as much as he had prior to that. I said last week, and I'll say it again, I thought it was absolute nonsense. I don't think you can ever fault Tom Eaves for effort and willingness to run and run through brick walls for the cause. But in the last few games, things just haven't gone his way. But he got the penalty at Coventry and earned us a point, and he looked bright enough on Tuesday without getting loads and loads of chances. Took his goal well when it came. And again, proves he can do it against the best clubs in this division. He scored goals against Charlton, he scored goals against Portsmouth. He scored goals against Sunderland this season. He scored against Luton. Who else is in the top 6? Doncaster, I don't think he scored against Doncaster this season, did he? Fuller? Yes, I think he did. He nicked one in the away game in the 3-3 draw. I think it was Barry Fuller, him and Max Amar. So he's proved he can do it at the very top end of this league against the very best defences. So if we can keep him fit and keep him flying for the rest of the campaign, then I think we've got no issues in terms of staying up. Said he was very proud his family were there Tuesday night to see him score, and the only disappointment was that, in his opinion, a very good performance went unrewarded. But it comes back to, again, doing the simple things right and not making the same mistakes, and until we sort that out defensively, then we are going to have to score a lot of goals to win football matches. But a decent showing against a side that are going to beat plenty in this division and have beaten plenty in this division already. But that is enough about Tuesday. We move on to Saturday now, when we travel to Adams Park to take on these. Wycombe Wanderers are our opponents at the weekend, and they currently sit in mid-table. They are 12th in the league at the moment, so right in the middle, with a record of played 33, won 11, drawn 10 and lost 12. 43 points from them 33 games, which puts them 7 points clear of us. Same games played now, because Tuesday obviously was our game in hand. But yeah, at the moment, obviously, we still need to be looking at teams below us rather than above us. And if we can start picking up points on a more regular basis, then perhaps we can start picking off a few of those above us. It'll be a tough game. We know their threats. They have plenty of ex-Gills in their side. Bayowick and Fenway, we all know about. Adam El Abdu scored in the return at the first fixture at Priestfield earlier in the season. Michael Harriman, who was on loan with us a few years ago. And another one with plenty of experience is Nathan Tyson, whose only goal this season came against us. But yeah, loads of experience around the Football League, Nathan Tyson. Craig McHale-Smith's another one, but he's gone on loan to Notts County to try and keep them in the Football League. So they do have a lot of experience, but I'd imagine their average age is quite high. In terms of form, last 6, they have won 2, drawn 2 and lost 2 in that order. So they are winless in 4, and that represents 8 points from the last 18 available. We have a single win in that time, 2 draws and 3 defeats, so only 5 points from the last 18. It does need to improve. On the road, we have 2 wins, a draw and 3 defeats, so 7 points from the last 6 games. And at home, they have 3 wins, a draw and 2 defeats, so that is 10 points from the last 18. 1 win in the last 4 in all competitions for us, no win in 4 for them. In terms of a last visit, you have to go all the way back to the championship winning side of 2012-2013, and we won 1-0 courtesy of a Joe Martin goal. Since then, we've played in different divisions until this campaign. In terms of team news, no Alex Lacey still, no Gabriel Zaquani. Josh Rees is 50-50, was hopeful to be back training today, according to Steve Lovell in the paper. For some reason, there's not been a press conference today, so I can only assume it'll be tomorrow, Friday. Billy Bingham looks to be back in contention, had a slight ankle knock that swelled up on Saturday against Scunthorpe, which was why he was taken off, but it looks to be nothing more than that. So they are quite hopeful that settles down and he can make an appearance at the weekend. And he said that Leonardo Lopez went off with a slight groin strain, otherwise he'd have stayed on, so fingers crossed he's okay as well. So in terms of a team, I wouldn't make too many changes again. I think if Billy Bingham's fit, he comes back in for Darren Oldacre. And that's nothing against DJ. It's just that Billy Bingham was very, very good last Saturday. And if we can get him back in there and doing that job again, then it frees up the likes of Mark Byrne and Lopez to support the attacking players moving forward. And obviously without neglecting their defensive duty. So my team would be Thomas Holy, Luke O'Neill, Max Amar, Connor Ogilvie and Barry Fuller. And then Billy Bingham, Mark Byrne, Leonardo da Silva, Lopez if fit, and Graham Burke. If Lopez isn't, then I would play Callum Riley from the left-hand side of the diamond. And up front, I would stick with the goal-scoring duo from the week, which is Brandon Hanlon and Tom Eaves. My bench would be Thomas Hadler, Darren Oldacre, Regan Charles Cook, Callum Riley or Leonardo Lopez, Billy King, Tarvon Campbell and Elliot List. Missed off Dean Parrott, but we'll stick with the 7 I've gone with. It's good to have so many options at the moment in terms of injuries. There's not loads, so that can only stand us in good stead. In terms of a prediction, what have we taken since the transfer window? Drew at Coventry, lost to Barnsley, beat Scunthorpe, lost to Sunderland, so 4 points from 12, which is around about a third of the points available. If you do that, you stay up. I am going to say a score draw this Saturday. I'm going to say Wycombe Wanderers 1, Gillingham 1, and I'm going to say Brandon Hanlon to score in consecutive games. So that is my prediction. Another point on the board, hopefully. And then we can look forward to another away trip next Saturday and the long one north to Fleetwood, a run of 3 consecutive away games. But let's worry about this one first. We will not be there Saturday, unfortunately. I think our next away game is going to be Luton Town. As always, thanks for watching. Thanks for doing all the usual, liking, subscribing, retweeting, and all that you do all the time. Yeah, that's enough from me tonight. And until next time, up the Gills.